Welcome to Fluent Podcasts, and you're listening to Learn English with Podcasts. Have you ever had a song just burrow its way into your brain?
Yeah.
One of those unbelievably catchy tunes you find yourself humming, maybe days later, even if you only kind of half know the words. That irresistible rhythm, that melody that just, refuses to leave your mental playlist. Well, imagine harnessing that incredible power, that sheer catchiness, not just for, a good time, but for something really transformative, mastering English.
Indeed. That's a great way to put it. Today, we're embarking on a deep dive into what we've started calling the harmony of language. We're going to explore how music, specifically songs, can actually be one of the most powerful and I think genuinely enjoyable tools you have for learning English. And what's particularly exciting about this deep dive is that we're drawing directly from the insights and the materials you shared with us. The really fascinating research and practical strategies from Dr. Emma Liam and Professor Liam Chen. They're, true pioneers in this field.
That's right. And our mission here in this deep dive is really to give you, our dedicated learner, a kind of direct shortcut. We want you to gain knowledge quickly, sure, but also thoroughly. We want you to uncover those aha moments that make everything click. And crucially, we want to help you sidestep that notorious information overload. All of this, we think, should be infused with genuine delight. So we've distilled the most impactful nuggets from the discussion to give you a clear, engaging, and honestly incredibly fun pathway to fluency, ready to discover how your favorite tunes can basically become your most effective new English classroom. Let's unpack this.
Okay. So what's truly foundational here, and this comes through strongly in Dr. Emma Liam's work on cognitive neuroscience, is how intimately music connects with our brains. It makes it such an innate, natural fit for language acquisition. It's almost as if our brains are kind of hardwired for this exact connection. At its core, songs offer this multisensory engagement that, traditional text-based learning methods often struggle to replicate. Think about it not just as sound, but as this complex tapestry woven from rhythm, melody, lyrics, all working together. It creates this uniquely potent learning environment.
That's a fantastic way to put it, a tapestry. And it really brings to life how your brain gets like an all-access pass. When you listen to a song, it's not just your auditory cortex lighting up. As Professor Liam Chen's research maps out, when you engage with a song, you're feeling the beat, right? That's your motor cortex. You're processing the emotional story and the lyrics. Hello, limbic system. You're internalizing the tune with auditory memory, maybe even visualizing the scene. This simultaneous engagement of multiple brain regions is precisely what makes music so incredibly potent for memory. It creates redundant pathways for recall, doesn't it? If you forget the word, maybe the melody triggers it, or the emotion brings it back.
Exactly right. This integrated multimodal approach means that vocabulary and grammar, which, let's face it, can feel dry or difficult from a textbook, they become significantly more accessible, more sticky, you could say. Dr. Liam calls this experiential encoding. Instead of just recalling a word from a list, your brain has multiple cues. The melody, the rhythm, the emotion, the story, even where you were when you first heard it. This rich network of associations, it just dramatically strengthens recall. Far beyond simple rote memorization. It's less about brute force and more about natural, almost effortless absorption.
So it's not just knowing a word, it's remembering the feeling, the context, the sound of it, which is, absolutely crucial for using language naturally. And speaking of natural language, this kind of interwoven learning leads us right to how songs uniquely help with authentic pronunciation and intonation. This is where it gets really fascinating, I think, because it tackles one of the trickiest parts of sounding, more like a native speaker.
It really does. And what's insightful here, drawing from Professor Chen's lecture notes you shared, is that when you sing along, you're often not consciously trying to perfect individual sounds in a clinical way. Right. Instead, your brain is intuitively mimicking the natural stress and rhythm, the prosody of English speech. The melody itself acts as this almost invisible guide for intonation. English isn't monotone. It has rises and falls, emphasis, and natural musicality that conveys meaning and emotion. Chen's work shows how the brain's ability to process musical rhythm directly maps onto language intonation. It sort of hardwires that natural rise and fall, bypassing conscious effort. It's more than just listening. It's a direct neural pathway.
Well, absolutely. And if you've ever tried learning pronunciation formally, you know how challenging and honestly intimidating it can feel. It's often so stiff and unanalytical. But when you're singing along to, say, Adele Emma, Liam often suggests her for intermediate learners because she's so clear. You're practicing that natural flow organically. The melody just pulls you along. You absorb the intonation, the stresses, the pauses, without even really thinking about it. It's like getting a pronunciation lesson, but it feels like play, not work. It strips away that self-consciousness,
Exactly. That organic acquisition, it radically reduces the pressure. It bypasses that self-conscious filter that can really inhibit natural speech. It allows for a far more fluid, intuitive assimilation of the language's musicality. You're training your ear, yes, but also your vocal apparatus in this relaxed, enjoyable setting, which just makes the whole process way more effective and sustainable. Dr. Liam's studies even showed a significant drop in pronunciation anxiety for learners using songs.
Yeah, less anxiety, more fun. And that enjoyment factor, the sheer fun of it, brings us to the third core reason music works so well: motivation. Motivation and consistent engagement. It sounds obvious, maybe, but it's genuinely the fundamental driver. Let's be honest, learning anything new, especially a language, can be a bit of a grind sometimes. There are days you just don't feel like opening that textbook or doing those drills.
Right. So the crucial question becomes, how do we make learning English something you want to do, something you actually look forward to? And the answer, in large part, is pleasure, intrinsic motivation. The enjoyment you get from music fundamentally transforms learning from a task into something genuinely pleasurable. This emotional connection is incredibly powerful. As Professor Chen argues, when you associate learning with strong, positive emotions, your brain is not only more receptive, but it's also way more likely to retain that information long term. It's like emotional tagging for memories makes them more robust.
Totally. Think about it. If you genuinely love an artist, you'll actively seek out their music. You'll listen to the same song dozens of times, willingly, singing along in the car while cooking. Each listen becomes this powerful repetition, vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation without feeling like study TED. This consistent, pleasure-driven repetition encourages you to stick with it. It stops being about willpower and starts being about enjoyment. And when you're motivated, consistency just follows naturally, which is, as we know, the real key to fluency. It embeds the learning deep down thanks to that emotional resonance.
Okay, so with that foundation of why songs work so incredibly well, let's shift gears a bit. Let's talk practicalities. The first crucial step on your musical English journey is really thoughtfully selecting the right songs for your current level. As Dr. Emma Liam notes in her work, this isn't one size fits all. It needs to be personalized to set you up for success.
Exactly. For beginners, the goal is building confidence, right? Avoiding frustration. So that means intentionally focusing on songs with really clear, well-enunciated lyrics, simple, everyday vocabulary. You want to be able to follow along without hitting the dictionary every 5 seconds. Our experts, Emma Liam and Liam Chen, often suggest genres like pop, folk, or acoustic songs. They usually fit the bill. Think artists like Ed Sheeran, great storyteller, clear voice. Or Adele, her ballads often have accessible language. The Beatles, especially their early stuff, are fantastic too. Let It Be, for instance. Professor Chen highlighted that one for beginners. Clear lyrics, slower tempo, universal message. Easy to connect with while you learn the words. It's all about building that base of comprehensible input.
Mm-hmm. And as you move beyond beginner, maybe to intermediate or advanced, your options really open up. For learners with a stronger grasp, you can start exploring more complex genres, richer vocabulary, more idiomatic expressions. Rock, rap, musicals, even jazz are excellent choices then. Hip-hop and jazz especially will expose you to loads of colloquialisms, slang, complex idioms, stuff that's vital for sounding natural and understanding informal chat. Professor Chen specifically mentioned Bob Dylan for advanced learners. His lyrics are so poetic, often full of cultural references. Engaging with that kind of material really pushes you beyond literal meaning into nuance, metaphor, culture.
Definitely challenges you. But okay, regardless of level, here's the absolute golden rule, and it came up again and again in the sources. Choose songs and artists you genuinely enjoy. This isn't just a suggestion. Dr. Emma Liam stresses it's critical fuel for motivation. If you try to force yourself to listen to music you dislike, even if someone says it's good for learning, you'll just lose interest super quickly. That emotional connection is your strongest incentive. Learning should feel enriching, not like a tedious chore. So yeah, prioritize enjoyment. The learning will follow.
So true. Okay, so you've curated your perfect soundtrack. Now what? You'll probably hit some common challenges, things like understanding lyrics packed with slang, or singers going incredibly fast, or just grappling with tricky pronunciations. But as both Dr. Liam and Professor Chen outline, there are clear, practical ways to navigate these hurdles.
Right, those classic stumbling blocks.
Yeah.
Well, let's take slang or fast singing first. The initial approach, Professor Chen details this well, is to get the lyrics. Find songs with printed lyrics, or even better, use apps with real-time lyrics. Music's Match is great for that, right? Synchronized lyrics popping up.
Yeah, super helpful.
Then don't shy away from repetitive listening. First, just listen for the feel. Then, listen again while reading along. Connect sound to word. Finally, try singing along slowly. Mimic the rhythm. It might feel awkward at first, but your ear adapts. It's like training a muscle. The more you expose your hearing to different pronunciations, different slang and context, the better it gets to decoding them. That ear training is invaluable.
Absolutely. And for difficult pronunciation, the strategy is similar. Break it down. Chunking, as Dr. Liam calls it. Don't try to tackle the whole song at once. Break lyrics down line by line, maybe even word by word if a sound is tough. Practice singing slowly, focusing on those tricky sounds, maybe sounds that don't exist in your native language, like the or certain vowels. You can use online pronunciation tools or apps like Ilesi Sapiki that uses speech recognition for instant feedback. Really helps refine sounds in isolation. The key mindset here is don't aim for perfection right away. Focus on rhythm, the overall shape of the sound, the intonation. Perfection comes later with consistent practice.
And what if a song is just overwhelmingly fast? You hear it and think, no way. Well, technology is your friend here. Many music apps, YouTube too, let you slow down the playback speed without that chipmunk voice. Start there. Listen at 0.75x or even 0.5x speed until you can follow along comfortably. Another smart choice, especially early on, is to start with slower songs naturally, or look for acoustic versions that are often slower. Then, as you get more comfortable, gradually increase the speed. Move to faster songs. It's all about that gradual progression, building a solid, confident foundation step by step.
Okay, moving beyond just listening and tackling hurdles, let's explore how songs actively enhance specific English skills. One of the most immediate benefits, highlighted in both sets of work, is vocabulary enhancement. Songs aren't just fun, they are absolute treasure troves of new words, phrases, expressions. But the key they both stress is to actively extract this knowledge.
Yeah, it's not passive listening, it's active linguistic mining. As you listen and read the lyrics, consciously pick out new words or phrases. Don't just gloss over them. Write them down. Notebook, digital note, whatever works for you. Then, and this is crucial, look up their meanings. Try to understand how they're used in the song. What's the nuance? Then take it a step further. Actively use them. Try making your own sentences, speaking or writing. That process moves a word from passive recognition, oh yeah, seen that, to active production. I can use this. It really cements it.
And what's particularly powerful, something Professor Chen really emphasizes regarding authentic language, is how rich songs are in idiomatic expressions and phrasal verbs. You know, those phrases where the meaning isn't obvious, break a leg, spill the beans, get over it. Idioms are fundamental for natural English, and songs are just packed with them, often woven right into the story. When you find one, research its meaning, jot it down with an example. Maybe try to use it yourself that week. Dr. Liam even suggested an idiom songbook. List the idiom and the song you heard it in. That musical link helps recall. Songs provide this really fun, memorable way to learn natural, informal English, including current slang that textbooks often miss.
Absolutely. And to really make those new vocabulary gems stick, reinforcement is key. Consistent, structured review. Create flashcards, word or phrase on one side, definition, example sentence, maybe a note about the song on the other. Review them daily, even just for 5 minutes. That consistent exposure, plus the song's emotional and auditory memory link, it dramatically boosts retention. It's like a multi-pronged attack on forgetting.
Beyond vocabulary, songs are also surprisingly effective and often underestimated tools for grammar reinforcement. What's brilliant is how it often happens implicitly. You don't even realize you're studying grammar. It's like stealth grammar learning.
Yes, it's incredible how well it works. Think about it. Songs, especially pop songs, repeat certain structures constantly, especially in the chorus. Maybe a ballad uses the simple past a lot, I waited. Or present perfect, I've been waiting. Upbeat songs might use present continuous, I'm singing, we're dancing, or conditional sentences, if I were a rich man.
Yes, this natural rhythmic repetition reinforces those patterns in your mind. Your brain starts recognizing the forms, not through rules, but through repeated exposure in context. Professor Chen calls it building grammatical intuition. You start to feel what sounds right, making your own English more natural.
And this organic reinforcement leads directly to another cornerstone, improving listening skills. Repeated, active listening to songs profoundly trains your ear, different accents, speeds, pronunciations. It does this in a way that maybe static audio recordings or formal exercises don't quite capture. Your ear gets a serious workout. As Dr. Liam's research shows, the mix of melody, rhythm, and repeated lyrics helps your brain separate words. Even in fast speech, or when singers slur words or use contractions, which happens all the time in real spoken English. The music acts like an anchor. The more variety you listen to different styles, maybe different accents, the better your ear gets at picking up the nuances. Good advice here is repeated listening. First, just get the main message. Don't obsess over every word initially. Once you get the gist, then zero in on specific bits you missed, overall comprehension first, then details.
And then comes the really exciting part, significantly boosting your speaking practice through music. This is where you actively shift from listening to production. It's a huge game changer for fluency and confidence.
Totally. Singing aloud is, surprisingly, a really effective low-pressure way to improve pronunciation. It helps with breath control, overall fluency too. When you mimic singers, you're not just saying words. You're practicing natural intonation, stressing syllables correctly, learning how to put emotion into your voice. Singers use pitch, volume, rhythm for feeling, right? By imitating them, you learn to do it too when you speak English. It engages your speaking muscles in a fun way, bypassing that self-consciousness. Plus, and this is key, singing aloud just builds confidence. The more you produce English sounds, even in a song, the more comfortable you become speaking it in real life. It's a fantastic bridge from listening to speaking.
And finally, a benefit that's often overlooked but really valuable. Songs can be a great springboard for integrating writing practice. This adds another layer of active engagement and creative expression.
You're so right. After really listening to a song, absorbing its meaning, you can do different writing exercises, like write a short summary of the song's story or meaning. What did it tell you? What emotions came up? Or write personal reflections. Did it make you feel something specific? Resonate with your own life. Writing forces you to process the language, articulate your understanding in English, or get creative. Try writing your own lyrics, or a short poem inspired by the song's style or message. This deepens your creativity, sure, but also solidifies vocabulary and grammar in a really personal way. Great for self-expression in English.
Okay, now that we've thoroughly covered the why, the power of music, and the what, the skills it builds, let's really dive into the how. What does a practical daily routine actually look like? We were both quite impressed by the structured 10-minute routine that came up in both Professor Chen's and Dr. Liam's materials. It's remarkably effective and easy to fit in.
Yeah, this is where it gets really practical. Here's how you can structure that highly effective 10-minute daily routine. First, pick a song you like, maybe one we mentioned, or one you found. For the first listen, just play it. No lyrics yet. Just get the general feel, the vibe, the melody, the emotion. Don't stress about understanding every word. This is about connection, setting the mood, that positive emotion Professor Chen talks about.
Right. Then, for the second listen, listen again, but with the lyrics in front of you. Read along. This is critical. It helps you consciously connect the sounds you hear to the written words. You're bridging that auditory-visual gap. Dr. Emma Liam calls this initiating active listening. Your brain starts mapping sounds to letters, which really speeds up word recognition.
Exactly. Active listening, it's way more than just hearing passively. You're consciously focusing, trying to link sounds to words. That deliberate engagement boosts retention and deepens comprehension. It's about being fully present with the language.
Next, the third step in your 10 minutes. Zoom in. Focus on just one section, maybe a verse, or off of the chorus, your focused study bit. Spend a few minutes here. Look up any new words or phrases in that section. Understand their nuances. Then, try singing along slowly just to that part. Really concentrate on mimicking pronunciation, intonation, rhythm as closely as you can. Break it down if needed.
And finally, step 4, the application phase. Dedicate a minute or two to actively using what you learned. Try summarizing the song's meaning in your own words, speak it out loud, or write a quick sentence or two. Or write a couple of sentences using the new vocabulary or idioms you picked up from that song. This forces you to produce the language, which is vital for making new knowledge stick. This whole cycle, done daily, maybe one song per week, or digging into one song for a few days, builds huge progress over time.
Let's dig a bit deeper into effective repetition. Professor Chen really hammers this home as a cornerstone of deep language learning. Listening to the same song multiple times isn't just for enjoyment, it's about profound internalization. The more you hear new words and phrases in context, the more they embed themselves in your long-term memory. You're building strong neural pathways.
And it's not just mindless repetition, you can make it super targeted. Listen once for the gist. Then, if parts are tricky fast bits, tough words, complex grammar, replay just those sections, loop them. This focused replay lets your brain really dissect the hard parts. And as we said, singing along reinforces pronunciation powerfully. You're engaging your vocal muscles, mouth, tongue, shaping the sounds. That physical memory, kinesthetic memory, locks it in even more.
Another really practical technique, especially if lyrics feel overwhelming, is breaking them down. Don't let a whole song intimidate you. As Dr. Liam suggests, chunk it. Mentally or physically divide it into smaller bits. Verses, chorus, even just a few lines. Makes it less daunting and allows for deeper focused analysis.
Yes, and that deep analysis isn't just looking up words. For each chunk, you can go way further. Use translation maybe for a first check, but always go back to the English. Explore the nuance, the idioms, the poetry the translation misses. Identify grammar patterns, what tenses are used, conditionals, interesting prepositions, phrasal verbs, and then critically try writing your own sentences inspired by those lyrics. Paraphrase a line, use a similar structure, continue the story. This interactive approach makes the language really come alive and connects it to your creative output.
And for really supercharging your pronunciation, one of the best practical exercises is focused shadowing. Professor Liam Chen is a big advocate for this. You listen to a line, then immediately repeat it aloud. You try to mimic everything, pronunciation, intonation, rhythm, as closely as possible, like being a linguistic parrot, but with focus.
This is where you really become an active participant, moving beyond just hearing. And to really nail it, record yourself shadowing. Use your phone, whatever. Then play your recording back and compare it to the original, side by side. This immediate self-correction is an incredibly powerful feedback loop. You might notice, oh, I missed that sound, or my intonation is flat there. It highlights exactly where you need to improve, letting you refine your speech with precision.
Okay, so as your journey with music and English progresses, it's vital to see it's not just about language mechanics. It's about expanding horizons, connecting with the broader English-speaking world and its cultures. This is where cultural knowledge, social learning, and using the right tools really come into play.
That cultural knowledge piece, highlighted again and again in the materials, it just can't be overstated, can it? A song isn't just words and notes. It's a snapshot of a moment, a reflection of culture, history, society, emotion. Understanding the background, who wrote it, when, what was going on, what were they trying to say, helps you grasp the deeper meaning, way beyond a dictionary definition. Like understanding the civil rights movement really deepens your understanding of protest songs by someone like Bob Dylan, right? Otherwise, references just fly over your head.
Absolutely. Or think about a classic Beatles song, as Dr. Liam mentioned. Knowing a bit about 60s British culture, the slang, it just enriches everything. It moves from translation to true appreciation. Same with contemporary hip-hop. It might be full of specific slang or cultural references. Knowing the story, the context, the emotions transforms it from a language exercise into a rich cultural experience. But it's also really important to be aware that some lyrics might use slang or references that don't translate well or have different connotations. So always good to cross-check meanings, maybe consult native speakers or reliable resources to really get the nuance and avoid misunderstandings.
Which brings us neatly to social learning and communities. Language learning is, at its best, communal. You don't have to do it alone. Joining online music clubs, forums, social media groups, Discord servers for learners or music fans. It can be a game changer. These places offer amazing opportunities to share songs, discover new ones, and actually discuss lyrics with other learners and native speakers.
Exactly. That interaction provides invaluable practice. Imagine debating the meaning of a tricky lyric or explaining why a song resonates with you. You're forced to articulate your thoughts in English, refining your expression, even something fun like karaoke with friends or language partners. Fantastic low-pressure speaking practice. Boosts confidence, applies what you learned in a joyful, social setting. It's authentic, enjoyable, and builds fluency and connection.
And in this digital age, wow, the array of tech tools available is incredible. Used strategically, they can seriously supercharge your learning. For interactive lyrics, lyricstraining.com is brilliant. Professor Chen noted how it gamifies things, fill in the blanks with songs, great for listening and vocab. Music's match, as we mentioned, with the synchronized lyrics, so helpful for following along.
For video learners, YouTube channels dedicated to English songs are a goldmine. Lyric videos, explanations, cultural context, they make complex stuff accessible. Fluent U is another excellent app Dr. Liam often recommends. Uses real videos, music videos, movie clips with interactive subtitles, teaches language in rich, authentic context. Very immersive.
And for pronunciation, apps like ELSA Speak are revolutionary, using speech recognition for instant feedback. That helps you really target tricky sounds and improve clarity. And don't forget, curated playlists. Spotify, Apple Music, etc. have playlists specifically for English learners. By level, genre, theme, makes discovery easy and keeps things fresh.
The key approach here is using tech strategically, to enhance, to supplement your core methods. These tools add variety, accessibility, interaction, but they should be part of a balanced routine. And, as both experts caution, maybe focus on a few trusted resources that suit you, rather than getting overwhelmed by choice. Quality over quantity.
And finally, a really powerful personalized approach. Virtual tutors and language partners, they can integrate songs so effectively. Imagine a tutor guiding you through lyrics, explaining culture, vocab, grammar right there, answering your questions,
Right.
or practicing a song with a language partner, discussing the meaning. It makes structured sessions super engaging, dynamic, memorable, blends the fun of music into targeted learning perfectly. It really brings these ideas to life.
Okay, so as you continue immersing yourself in learning English through music, you'll naturally want to deepen your understanding and aim for long-term mastery. This means exploring some more advanced techniques and finding ways to keep that motivation going strong, transforming casual listening into a real pathway to fluency.
So you've got the basics down, enjoying the daily routine. Here's where it gets really interesting for deeper learning, like Professor Chen's work on chunking suggests. One advanced technique, analyzing song structure. Verses, choruses, bridges. Understanding these isn't just music theory. It helps you anticipate language patterns, recurring themes. The chorus, right, often has the main message, repeats a lot. It's an anchor for core vocab and grammar. The structural awareness helps memorization, provides a framework, makes you notice repetition, supercharges learning efficiency.
And this raises a point Dr. Liam tackles. How does genre affect the language? Analyzing language style by genre is super insightful for advanced learners. Pop songs, usually simpler, direct, repetitive phrases, great for internalizing common expressions, basic structures. But contrast that with rap or hip-hop. Complex rhymes, lots of slang, wordplay, cultural allusions. Studying these unique traits exposes you to a totally different linguistic landscape. Rich cultural expressions you won't find in textbooks. It broadens your vocabulary and stylistic understanding massively, prepares you for more nuanced communication.
And then there's the tricky role of translation. Many learners jump straight to word-for-word translation. It can be, well, a double-edged sword. Translation can help initially, sure. But literal translations, as Professor Chen warns, often miss idioms, cultural nuances, poetic devices, the stuff that gives the song its real meaning. Better to use translation as a starting point than dive deep into the original English. Look for those subtle differences, layered meanings, beautiful expressions. Like Liam Chen said, understand the meaning and intent. Don't just memorize words in isolation.
Moving to more active practice, memorization is undeniably vital. Memorizing lyrics internalizes vocab, grammar, pronunciation, rhythm holistically. It trains auditory memory, speech muscles, builds deep confidence. It's like having this library of natural speech patterns in your head to draw on. But as we keep saying, combine it with understanding. Don't just parrot. Comprehend the meaning, the emotion, the context. That combination memorization plus comprehension, that's where true fluency blossoms.
And for boosting speaking skills even more, especially if you like performing a bit, creative speaking with lyrics. This is where the fun really ramps up. Karaoke, obviously fantastic, low-stakes practice. But also, try creating dialogues inspired by lyrics. What if the song characters talked after the song ended? Or use a compelling lyric as a prompt. Tell a story around it, start a discussion or debate based on it. This encourages active, spontaneous use of new language, boosts fluency, and lets your creativity flow in English.
Finally, don't underestimate music videos. Dr. Liam really stresses this. They provide crucial visual context. They show emotions, interactions, settings, storylines, all helping you grasp deeper meaning and lyrical nuances. Your brain processes visual and auditory info together, reinforcing comprehension, a great strategy. Watch with English subtitles first. Connect visuals to words. Then, watch without subtitles to really challenge your listening. It's like a mini-movie that's also a super effective language lesson. Makes abstract ideas concrete.
So as you continue this amazing journey, how do you know you're actually improving? Assessing progress is key for motivation, for tweaking your routine. You can consciously track things. Pronunciation, sounding more natural, less hesitant. Mimicking intonation better. Vocabulary retention, remembering more words, using them actively. Listening comprehension, understanding more complex songs now. Faster tempos, intricate lyrics.
A really effective method Professor Chen champions is self-recording. Regularly record yourself singing or speaking the lyrics, then compare your recording to the original over time. You'll honestly be amazed at your own growth accent, rhythm, flow, and a clear sign of progress. When you start understanding and actually enjoying more complex songs, ones that used to seem impenetrable because they were too fast, too slangy, too complex, that shows your ear and brain are truly adapting, processing English better.
And to keep that motivation and enjoyment going for the long haul, variety is your best friend. Don't let it become a chore. Alternate activities, listening, singing, writing summaries, creative writing, discussing songs, keep it fresh, set clear achievable goals. Learn one new idiom this week, master the course by Friday, and celebrate your progress, however small. Share it. That positive reinforcement, internal and external, is so powerful.
Ultimately, and both Dr. Liam and Professor Chen really emphasize this, the single most important thing is keep finding music you genuinely enjoy. That emotional connection is the primary fuel for long-term engagement. If it feels joyful, if it gives you pleasure, you'll stick with it, even on tough days. That intrinsic motivation, that's the real secret to fluency and mastery.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the harmony of language, just remember the transformative power music holds for learning English. It's not just a supplement, it's a whole pathway, enhancing every skill: pronunciation, cultural understanding, vocab, grammar, listening, speaking confidence. Music offers this rich, engaging, profoundly effective path to fluency that's really unlike anything else.
And maybe think beyond just the language mechanics for a second. Consider how deeply music can connect you to global cultures, diverse perspectives. Just by tuning into a new song, every song is truly a cultural artifact, isn't it? Carrying stories, histories, emotions, different ways of seeing the world. By engaging with it, exploring its lyrics and context, you're not just learning English. You're expanding your worldview, fostering empathy, building bridges.
So yeah, dive in. Open heart, real curiosity. Don't worry about mistakes. Sing loud, sing proud. Music is such a powerful friend on this journey, making every step enjoyable. Remember, whether it's a pop hit, a classic ballad, an intricate rap track, every song is a valuable, joyful step towards fluency. Keep listening, keep singing, and keep exploring.